So let's do a little better tour of the motorhome. It is a 22-foot 1980 Dodge Class C motorhome. Sorry for being close, don't have a lot of room. Let's check the engine. It has a 360 motor, not sure what kind of transmission. There it is. Engine seems to be in pretty good shape. Does run, starts up pretty easy. Can't start it right now because I don't have a battery. Tires seem to be in good shape. Had to replace the mirrors. Same style that was on there before, so pretty sure they were replaced previously. Someone tried to break into it since we got it. Okay, so we ended up getting an alarm system for it. Replaced the filler nozzle for the water tank. Had to make a patch to go around it because the previous hole was much bigger. That's how far I can get back. This is where our propane tank is. I added that piece here so I can connect an auxiliary tank and draw off of it to run a barbecue or something like that. Oh. That's where electrical goes in. It's the inlet for city water. Got a replacement for that, just haven't put it on yet. Have to wait for warmer weather. And put a cover over our gas tank. Just because I thought it looked better. That's where our black and gray water tank are located. All the white tape you see is sealant tape. It's not pretty, but I've got it completely sealed. There's no leaks inside. I replaced the lights on the top of the camper on the front and back. I still got a couple to do on the bottom. I'm gonna have to do something about this. This is where a spare tire goes, but not easy to see, but the weld back there has a crack all the way along it. I can, with the tire on it, it wiggles back and forth fairly easy. Don't know if I'm going to re-weld it, cut it off, and just do something different or what yet. The ladder it came with was shot. It was broken on top. So all I did was take one of the ones I had, made a hook at the top to hold it. Took two of the mounts that held the other ladder, turned them sideways, drilled a hole. Now that's where the ladder latches onto on either side. Had a ratchet strap just to make sure it doesn't rattle to death. And a security measure. Got a lock on it. You know, got to help keep people honest. Used to be a awning on it when we got it, but it was destroyed, so we just took it off. There's the door I replaced. That's where the hot water tank used to be. There's the largest outside storage door. And that's the one that's right underneath the bunk inside. That's the fridge exhaust. That's the heater exhaust. That's the battery compartment there. And that's just extra storage. It had the jack and all the stuff for the tires in it. I had to replace the outside handle as it was all broken. I put a light up there. Used to be one inside the handle that was there. I extended the wire. Just goes into the track, out the top, and into the light. I replaced the doorknob because the other one wasn't working. This one ain't actually made for these doors, so I had to make a plate that went around it. But it does work nicely. And the plate on there I had to make modifications to make everything work. But it's holding good. I did make a new one of these because the other one was broken. I'm trying to repair the other one right now because this got stuck in there when the door opened and it broke. So that was a failure, but worth a try. Used to have a step that came out on the bottom, but it wasn't in good shape. I did fix it and get it working better. But it still put too much stress on that part and kept bending it. There's a break there. I tried to seal up with some sealant, but don't know how well that's working. Made a new border piece out of angle iron. This is just bed frame. There's a shoe cubby and a light for the entranceway. Lights are from a friend that worked at an automotive place. They were throwing them out. They're old display lights. So he got me a couple of them, and I finally found a use for them. Okay, now that we're inside, I do have to change the screen. This is how it was when we got it. I do have screen and everything to do it, just haven't got around to it yet. This is part of our alarm system. I got one of those there and one on either front door. That way, if anybody actually does break in, the alarm will go off. Start with the bed area. This front area here was all pretty much completely rebuilt. I had to take the outside skin off and everything. I'll show some pictures of that. I had a hole there. That's from where I moved the light from. I had to leave a big hole because it's now a junction point. I had to get a cover for that. Staples weren't working in the ceiling, so I had to use screws. So I got these little covers for screws, so it looks slightly better. The cushions up here from the bottom bunk over in the back, they're up here. It's because that's all still torn apart from doing the hot water tank. And I rebuilt this. I didn't make this so it comes off like it's supposed to. I just left it solid and give it more strength. I put cubbies on the sides with the electrical so we can like charge our phones and stuff like that. That's still a work in progress. I originally was going to have them on the front. Then I realized that's right where our heads are going to go. So that wasn't going to work. I got to cover those up. So up on top they went. These are cubbies. You got 3 cubbies and then a space on the back. This is divided up. I don't know if I'm going to put a top on it or not. I haven't decided yet. The living room, moving in, checking out the cupboards. I took the doors that were here. They opened upwards like normal. I cut them in half, added a piece of wood so they would open this way. I prefer it like this. That's just chunks of aluminum cut and filed or sanded and painted black. Did that to all 3 cupboards. The curtains we grabbed just because they were cheap and we needed some curtains. Going to end up getting blackout curtains sooner or later, but this worked. Just cut them down, sewed them up so they'd fit. The bar on the back is actually one of those closet rods that I just see if I can get in there. Oh, side. Bent the ends on, then screwed them in. Got a spacer in behind them to hold it out. It's working perfectly. Haven't had any problems with it. Got another chunk of the curtain cut down and sewn in here in the kitchen. That's just put on with a black rod with those wire holder clips. That's been working. I also made a curtain for the bottom bunk. This is our couch area. I cut the table down, cut a chunk out of it, and put a hinge on it. That way we were able to make this into a C-section couch instead of it only being a table or a bed. We can still fold it up and put out the table. And a stick here has a spot that goes underneath that table. And I'll try to get some shots of that all set up and in the other configuration. We got rid of the ladder that you would climb on to get up there. What I ended up doing is making this step. Now, how it sits right now, it just sits there like a side table off of the couch. Yeah, give me a second. When we're going to bed, I just flip it around. Now it's a step on there, and climb up. It's a lot easier to get in and out of the bed. What I did is I took some flat rod that I had, cut, bent, and then welded it, or I cut it to make it the shape I needed. Then put this piece of metal on the front, bent it to go down like that. And it just sits on nice and neat on that wall that was already there. Now, I believe it's a 2x12 on the top. Just a spare chunk of wood I had in the garage. I stained it. These are where the screws are. Just cut plugs and put them in. They don't match really at all, but it works. All the wood in this camper was stained with this butcher block oil plus stain. Front is basic old 80s Dodge van. Nothing fancy. Got a newer stereo, but still old. It's a tape deck. Works. Well, that's a bonus. The cushions, just those little throw blankets. I had a whole bunch of them kicking around. So I just wrapped them around, did a quick sew job. Like very quick. Just to hold them on. And got new seat covers. It works. It's different. Over on the other side of the living room, we've got our entertainment stand. So the TV will go, and anything else, gaming system, whatever there. And there used to be a little chair here. Unfortunately, don't have any pictures of the chair. But it was just a little tiny chair, had a seatbelt on it, like a mini captain's chair. We got rid of that. I put this in. There's two drawers. This drawer has a board in it. Just cut it, put it in, stained it. That's so when you're sitting in the living room and you need somewhere to put stuff while you're watching TV or while you're relaxing, you have kind of like a little table there. Easily goes out of the way. Third one is the fold down cubby. You can throw stuff in. And then just because it would have been wasted space, I threw a little cubby down there. When they put this in, this heater vent was coming off the side of this, pointed that way. I had to reroute that to over here. So built a box, got the hose coming in, and then just connected it there. Fairly simple. But that would have given me some wasted space there, or a little shelf in the back of where our shoes go, which wouldn't have been very accessible. So I thought this would work better. Moving on, we got a closet here. This will probably be like jackets, stuff like that, and then also like where we'll put the broom, vacuum, whatever type of stuff. Got a fridge. I know it works on shore power, the 120 volt. Haven't been able to test it on 12 volt or propane yet. Hoping all works well. Has 2 drawers underneath it. That'll be where our silverware goes. The cupboard underneath that is just where our heater is. That's the bottom bunk. That's all torn apart right now because I'm working on it. This is the upper bunk. I ended up turning it into extra storage for the kitchen. So I got a couple Rubbermaid drawer things up here. Stacked them up right to the ceiling. The top drawers we'd have to pull out and pull down to get stuff in and out of them, but it's easy enough. I'm going to end up putting a piece of wood on the side that I can put some hooks on to put straps across for when we're driving so we can hold the drawers shut. I put some of these rack holder things, whatever they're called, I don't know. Put some of these racks on the wall here just to put some extra storage for anything that would be sitting up here so when we drive around it doesn't move and we don't have to constantly keep putting a bunch of stuff away. More Rubbermaid containers over here. These ones don't go to this all the way to the ceiling because these ones you can move out of the way and access some storage bins we have in the back part. I figured that was a good way to give more storage for whatever we needed it for. I put in this wall. Used to have a full accordion slider door that went right across. Wasn't a full fan of that. So I threw this wall in. On it, I put another extra counter, another prep space to make it easier to use, or make the kitchen easier to use. This is just a sheet of metal we put on for somewhere to put magnets. I'm gonna paint it with that chalkboard paint, so there'll be a magnetic chalkboard on there, and that's just a magnetic bar where you can put our cooking knives. I did put a door on the bathroom with a mirror. Sorry for the flash. Hello. Just, whoops, 2 holes drilled there for the outside handle. In the bathroom, we got a lower cabinet. It's not completely useful. Got a little bit of storage space in there, but it's mainly for the pipes. Our toilet paper holder, toilet, counter, sink. This goes to the shower. The basic motorhome shower. Vent is broken here, so I'm going to have to replace that still. I just got it something in there keeping the draft out. Upper cabinet. And hello again. Put a medicine cabinet in the bathroom. Added extra magnets. Those are just from a computer hard drive. So it holds shut quite good. I sanded and stained the border. And a towel rack. Got rid of the metal one, just took a piece of a broomstick and stained it so it'd match. Inner part of the door. A couple of hooks for towels. Put a lock on it. So you're in here doing your stuff. Be secure. the inside handle. Door is literally just a piece of plywood with some heavy duty drawer sliders on it. Works pretty good. Another closet here. This would be where our clothes go. I threw a cheap shelving unit in here just so we can have somewhere we can put bins or boxes or whatever, and have socks and stuff like that in them. 3 drawers underneath. That'll be also for clothes. And on the other side of the kitchen, we've got our spice racks. Hood vent. This used to be all silver. I painted it black. Everything does work. The light. The noisy fan. We got our stove. It's not actually installed yet. Oh, can't see. I just got it there, so it's out of the way. Don't know if it works yet. I haven't been able to check the propane system on it yet. I replaced the pump and added accumulation tank. In here, I got to do some plumbing. I want to move those two over against this wall over here and get the hose there that's going through where the electrical is for the shore power. And that's a cold zone. I don't want that going through there. So I want to move that pipe that comes from the fresh water tank coming through over here. Then I can just have it come around, connect to the pump, the accumulator tank, and then the rest of the plumbing. So it's not against over here. Doing some insulation. I'm going to try to do this in all the areas close to the outside wall. Add some more insulation. Made a new insert for the stove. The old one was falling apart. It was just particle board. I put in a sprayer. Make it easier for doing the dishes. You won't have to waste so much water. But, around the stove, I put in this aluminum plate. Reason I did that is because there was a burn mark from the stove on the wood behind here. So I wanted to make sure I got some protection in there for the heat. You got basically a jar storage. Anything you'd be storing in jars, you can put down there. And yeah, that's about it. It's not a big unit. But it's dry. Only had a couple of problems with leaks. All the problems I was able to find where they were actually coming from and make sure they had stopped. There was nothing that I did not know how something got wet. I put in a vent fan up here. This is all temporary. The tape is just to hold the wires up. Everything is connected properly with connectors. It's a reversible fan. Works quite well, actually. Over here, I just got a cheap one made out of a computer fan. Not super powerful, but it did help. Tried it when it was hot out and did help circulate air better. So that's the motorhome. Up front, I've made one so far. I still got to make one for the front and one for there, the passenger door. But 3 layers. I've got one of those window shades on the outside. In the, see if I can get it to focus. Middle, I've got some white felt. And on the outside, this was just a blanket. Made out of random material I don't quite remember. But 3 of them together, I think, make a pretty good barrier for the cold. I got magnets put in it all the way around it. So it just snaps onto the metal, not a problem. Got to make one over here. This will show how I did the magnets. It's got some scrap material and sewed it around the magnet onto the felt. And then just did that all the way around it. Once again, just hard drive magnets. Quite powerful, work well. Got to make one for the front and then finish making the one for the passenger door. Both seats are captain seats. Not much else to show at the moment. I've got to work on the electrical in her. I got to put the water tank back in. I have it out to check for leaks. I got a cheap solar power setup I got to install. So still a couple more projects to do on her. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. And I hope to see you in the next video.